Hello, folks. It's Monday now, 15th of April, tax day. Cheers. Good luck with those taxes. Well, let's just start from the top. I wake up this morning and the first news that I encounter is that jazz musician and Omahan Calvin Keys has passed away. The jazz guitarist. He's got a background. Folks know about him. He put out at least one album on the now infamous Black Jazz label, Proceed with Caution. I have the limited edition version. It's sad news. I had my brother, one of the last times I talked to my older brother, James, he mentioned that he had been in touch with Calvin, and Calvin was saying he wanted to get a hold of me. Well, I said, well, give him my number. My brother did not give an indication whether or not Calvin was in ill health or anything. Calvin was 83, according to what is said online today when he passed. I got to play with Calvin a few years. I don't know how many years ago it was now. It could have been as long ago as 10 years. Within the last 10 years, I got to jam with Curly Martin on drums, Shabaka on keyboards, and Calvin Keys on guitar and me on bass. We did a couple of things. I made it through the blues fine, but when we did Killer Joe, I had never played it. And the middle part, I flubbed it because Shaba was calling out the changes to me, but I don't know music history, so I didn't know what it meant. But I got to play with Calvin, and been around him more than once. Again, being in Omaha and part of the Omaha music scene, which my family I'll say it, we were a big part of it. Not that we were a part of it, we were a big part of it. Higgins were important as like the Mileses, Buddy Mileses. Higgins were important like the Loves, Preston Love. Higgins were important like the Harrises, Wynonie Harris, and others. I did take pride in that. And actually, as I'm sitting here and kind of taking in the news of Calvin passing and reviewing these thoughts, it's like, yeah, he was part of my life. And Higgins' legacy is a part of the history of black music in Nebraska. Proud to say. Rest in peace, Brother Calvin. I didn't read them, but I saw several posts as I was doing that about John Mayall. So hopefully John Mayall is fine. Don't want to, always hearing about people dying. Let me just take a quick look and see if there's anything online. No, so good. While I did that, I see where I can share with you, among others. I had a good weekend. I do like to share that with you. Yesterday, I did more yard work and then spent time outdoors with my cousin Ray next door. It's a comfort to have family nearby, and I love him very much. But besides rehearsing, I have a show Saturday, so I've set my stuff up in the living room so I can put together my set. I still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to play, but I started yesterday. But I also endeavored to try to watch some Coachella because it's online, And Coachella, for my taste, gets more dreadful every year, but that's because I'm not a kid. And Coachella is about money, not about art. They say that it's an arts festival. Bullshit. I watched a lot of the acts I'd never heard of, so I could speak. With not without prejudice, and the only things that I saw that I thought were really any good musically were Madhu Mukhtar. That was really good. Let me see if I can call it up. Mostly what I saw was, okay, now I see why the kids like this, like Tyler, the Creator. I was watching his set, and it's like, okay, this is for the kids, Just so much of it was just crap for my taste. I enjoyed YG Marley. Kruang Ben, I wouldn't buy their records. I see why people are into them. I know that the female bass player has something to do with it. Looks have something to do with it. They are good. They have a nice sound. Not interesting enough for me to buy. I dare say I like what I'm doing better. I will say that, folks. You folks are helping my stance as an artist. I am good. I've always known that. I make it to please me, so I listen to a lot of music, so I'm not fooling myself thinking it's good when it's not. It's got to be good. So when I look at these other artists and see what they're doing, like Taking Back Sunday, I was like, what? It's not for me, Jockstrap, Renee Rapp, lesbian artist, more power to her, but nothing at all interesting. Thought I'd share that. I try to watch Coachella. I've never been to Coachella. Back in the early days, I wanted to play Coachella. Had an opportunity with Sun Ambulance. Joe didn't want to do it. Oh! And that was the year that the other Omaha band, The Faint, played Coachella. We could have played, and he didn't want to do it. Now it's like, if I had the opportunity to do it, I'd do it. But it's like, it's so not about the music. I'm going a little bit longer, like an old guy. I remember the old days, and this is the truth. I remember when concerts were new. It was a new thing, and it was the thing to do for young people. There weren't all these gadgets and phones and other distractions and options for entertainment. And so concerts were special. They're not like that anymore. That flavor is gone. I see it when I look online. I feel it when I go to the shows. When I get on stage, I try to raise that energy. That's what it's about. We try to make that connection with the audience, Get them to put their phones down. So, a little bit of music, and I'll look at the comments. Because I said to one commenter, Kozaletsky, I would respond to him tomorrow. In one of my last rounds of buying used records, I forgot to show this. I'm not collecting them, but when they come up used, I buy them. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This is their album, Murder of the Universe. I have 3 of their albums. They have a ton of records. They're kind of fun. And they're hyper creative. They make a lot of records. And they're all pretty interesting. They're all microtonal. Is that part of their approach? It's not always apparent, but they appear to be having a lot of fun with making music. It's a large group. It's like 6 people. It appears that they're all still together. Somehow they're making this work. I love this. I haven't really delved into the story. It's on splatter vinyl. I like that. Kind of an ugly green though. But when I popped this on right away, it was like, oh, this is interesting. It's snapping and popping right away, with ideas. And that, I like that. So that's a new addition to the collection. Happy to say. I'll be watching the news today. Be watching the news quite a bit. You all know what's going on. Played some more of this, the Octopus Project with Black Moth Super Rainbow. I like the Black Moth Super Rainbow effect on this the best. I like that sound. Because of the psychedelic situations post for Musique, Concrète, it had me listening more. I love this stuff. This is Groupe de Recherches Musicales de la RTF, Musique, Concrète. This is a winner. This is not random noise. This is very engaging. I didn't read the notes yesterday, so I can't give a synopsis. I can just tell you that this is not just noise. This is art. And I love doing work like that. I have a whole bunch of stuff like that. Some of it's on Bandcamp, some of it is not released. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of Calvin Keys, but that might help me get the recording of myself with Calvin. I know that I make some mistakes on it, but I'd still love to hear that, and if it's not too embarrassing, to share it. Played some more of this this weekend. I talked about it. Orange Milk label, CB and IC. Love this stuff. I just love it. It's very it's very visual. It's very visual music. And then it was time for some more Boris. I like Boris. I liked him with Merzbow because of the mix. Now these, not all these, but this is a good recorded album. 2020, rest in peace. And the Merzbow, I love the way that they incorporate his sounds into their sound. And like I said, this is recorded clearly. And I love, again, the color. I like the way the sunlight is coming through the record. So this is kind of cool to share them when this is happening, because otherwise I see it like this, you know. Enjoyed this. I like, and I've met Boris twice. The second time, the guitarist, I forget his name. I remember you. Of course, again, I stand out like, you know, black head in a sea of white. I stand out. So, of course, I'd be easier to remember. I know that. This came up to play yesterday. Another thing that I bought used that was a Vinyl Me Please release with all the extras. But what an album. Do you know Jorge Ben? África, Brazil. I'll shout out SSP. You live in Brazil, right? You can probably talk about, maybe you've even met him or come across him. Who knows? This album is fantastic. And then the way it starts with Urubaba Uma, oh, that lick, that riff, it's like, it's fantastic. And then the yellow Vinyl Me Please, wonderful pressing. Records are fun, and music is the savior. Music saves my soul. I'll set this aside. I might even play some more of that this morning. Okay, so yeah, I've got a show Saturday opening for Rosalie. It'll be interesting because it'll be such a contrast. Their music is all very human and warm, and here I come with my keyboard and visuals and electronics. It'll be quite a contrast, but I'm looking forward to it. So let's see what's in the comments. The first comment I see is, please don't mess the camera up. Thank you. Okay. Those two singing bowl meditations on Bandcamp are great. You were not rusty then. Thank you. Thank you. And the second ends with starting to reprise for a while. Thank you. I hear from Sequoia Flame, David, down in Florida. Love is indeed important, D-Man. Yes, it is. Good to hear from you. Kozletzi has 5 singing bowls. Wonderful. They are intoxicating. Here's another, this is from Sweden. Gunnar in Sweden, thank you. I'm going to read this, Gunnar. Hey, Dereck, some time ago I bought the Muse Interlude, Woven Territories in REF, and this is healthy music. The first three in a wonderful meditative way, and RAF in an energizing way because of the joyful playing that really comes through. Thank you. Big thank you for your videos, honesty, and wisdom. We all need more of that. Take care and all the best. Thank you, Gunnar. I appreciate that. Someone else shares here about when they were in massage therapy, you know, and doing meditation, guided meditations. So I'll go to Auteki. Thank you, Planet PJR, Paul Jr. He says the Muse is a classic. Thank you. So Auteki asks here, I answered, but I said I would also talk today. Curious to know about recording the Muse. Did you raw record Cubby and Blake's tracks with any effects? I know mixing one would always have effects added with submixes, yet with more ambient works, playing with effects series always conjures up new textures, timbres, and compositional directions. Did you have any panels up or record the trumpet in a certain place in your house? Well, I will be happy to answer that. No, I recorded the trumpet and saxophone right here in this room. Actually, I'd be sitting here working the computer and the mixing desk, and Blake would be standing right behind me. So something I'd like to say about that is that having dedicated, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Open the wrong one. Having the, I'm going to do this one. Is this it? There it is. No, that's not it. Okay, so let me just open Days then, okay? Having dedicated rooms to do work in, like a studio, is definitely worth it. I don't have that access. But here's the deal. Am I still on? Good. So here's the deal. Many of the classic records that we love were recorded back before technology was very much developed. So all those hits on Motown, you know, the early hits were recorded in a basement. If I'm not mistaken, in the early days of the Motown studio, the basement floors were still dirt. Many recordings in the early days were recorded with one mic or with people just not really knowing what to do. So what I'm saying is having good tools to work with is nice, but magic can happen with music in any situation. I record, well, you can see it right there because I've moved it. I'm not recording right now. So I've moved, that's my old 4-track cassette Fostex deck. The cassette part is, the motor is dead for years, so I just use it as a mixing board. But we noticed, Cubby in particular noticed, the warmth of the guitar. We didn't do anything. Well, I'm going to pull up some tracks to see, because I think I recorded most of those tracks dry with the effects live, but I may have recorded some tracks with the effect on it. But definitely when recording the trumpet, Blake responded better when we had the reverb going while he's playing. But just like people say about certain boards, is it Sound Studio out in California, the one that the Foo Fighters guy bought, Dave Grohl? Everyone swears by that board. Then they talk about other boards and other rooms. I think there's something to that. This board, there's something about the way that the warmth, there's some warmth that comes through. So I'm going to pull up, so let me go to, I'm going to go to the guitar first. So here's the guitar. Did I record that? So So the way that I get the smoothness on the guitar is we did record with there's a touch of reverb, but here on the final mix, I added more. Not that much, but see, it's live, you know. So I can mess with the parameters. Okay, let's check out Blake. Let's see if I okay, this is kind of fun. Okay. Okay, once again, this is going to be in 2 parts. I accidentally hit the stop button. So let me continue here and stop the music and go back to Blake. So here's Blake. Let's see if that's dry, because I definitely... So Blake was recorded dry, and then I added two different plates to Blake to get that effect. Okay, no other effects on this. Now on some of the more abstract pieces, I played with some effects on Blake's harmonizer and some other things I played with on Blake's horn. So that's in response to Auteki wanting to know some more about the recording process. Yes, folks, I'm so pleased that you're interested in what I'm doing. And they can't do a copyright strike against me because I own the publishing to all this music. And once I LLC'd a couple of years ago, as soon as I finish the tracks, I register them through BMI to my publishing company. So again, this is in 2 parts, and I have to join them together, which means it'll take even longer for me to upload it. But I'm going to. Folks, stay in touch. Be well. This is going to be an interesting time regarding politics and the courts, and you know who. We need accountability. If it was anyone else, this charade and circus would not be going on. If it was a black person who had done what that guy did while in office, he'd be dead, and you know it. So enough of this 2-tiered, double standard, racist system. We need some justice and accountability. Other than that, folks, take care. Stay in touch.